The 2025 Schoolboy football season is alive with drama, upsets and dreams yet to be fulfilled. The Manning Cup champions have fallen, failing to reach the quarterfinals, and the Da Costa Cup kings Garvin Maceo have been dethroned, their crown released into the chase. Tonight, we look ahead to new heroes, new champions, and the battle that will define this season. This is High School Pitchside, where legends are made and history awaits to be rewritten. I'm your football girlie, Janae Robinson, and alongside me is Daniel Bent. Yes. Later, we'll be joined by Giovanni Brady and Ronaldo Adams. Yes. So, for all of the viewers that, love to hear their banter, you catch them later. Well, purple rain becomes purple tears. North Street left to mourn as Kingston College are knocked out of the Manning Cup. KC needed to beat Calabar to advance to the quarterfinals. A 2-2 draw, not enough to see them advance. Here's how the game unfolded on CVM TV.
For the second successive day, the champions of one of the schoolboy football competitions have bowed out. This time, it's the champions of the urban area Manning Cup who have been booted. KC exit at the round of 16 stage despite a 2-2 draw with rivals Calabar, as it's the Lions who advance. KC delivered the first body blow through Sharif Ricketts early in the piece. But Calabar were back on level pegging in minute 21 thanks to Francesco Reed. The Lions then roared into the lead just 3 minutes later, courtesy of Jaheim Rankin. But the champions weren't done yet, and got even just on the stroke of half-time, thanks to Deshaun Byfield. 2-2 at half-time, and KC were still dreaming of continuing their title defence, and Calabar would have been on the edge. But neither team could find another breakthrough in the second 45 minutes plus, meaning the Purples were left feeding the Blues, and the green and black clad boys from Red Hills Road erupted into jubilant celebrations.
The result sees Calabar advancing along with Heidel from Group 2 of the second round. Calabar will now contest Zone B of the quarterfinals along with Eltham High, Stats and Vauxhall. Meanwhile, Excelsior, Heidel, Charlie Smith and Jamaica College are in Zone A. Guys, there's no KC in the mix. I know last week you guys are coming at me for my KC shirt, but there's no KC in the mix. We'll talk about them in the Walker Cup, so you can come off on my chest now, please.
Yes.
But that's what the Manning Cup is looking like right now. And to be very honest with you, I like what I'm seeing. I think we're seeing new talent being exposed and not what is confirmed to the status quo, I should say. It's just a new script this year, and I like it.
Yeah, man, I think when you look at the fact that there was some banter in that Calabar is a track and field school.
Yes.
That banter has gone through the window because Casey's now, as you were saying, is bleeding the purple tears. Yeah. I remember speaking to Coach Basso at the beginning of the season, and he said that he would have lost a lot of players. I'm going to try to fix it. Yeah. They must get credit to reach this far. As I said, Walker Cup is now on the horizon for them. They have not won that trophy in a long time. So it's still a season that they can win a trophy. I know that the old boys at KC will say, Walker Cup, no, a Manning Cup, because remember, it is still their 100th year.
But some people may wonder, will that be enough for Kingston College? Because they have a rich history of just a football, sports background in general. So will that be enough for them this season?
I would think that the old boys will say no. I think the fans will also say no. But a trophy is a trophy. Yeah. Just like in England, they say FA Cup is a teacup. Arsenal would have won that a lot of times. But I think that for a lot of persons who are, avid supporters of KC, the Manning Cup is what they want. Because remember, Vassal Reynolds would have said that he would have won the Manning Cup last year. So he did it before the 100th year. But this is the 100th year, and I am thinking that he must be feeling a little pain in his heart.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because when I spoke to him post-match, he did express a little of that. He could see it in his body language, but he also was just a bit content based off of the performance on the day, as in they couldn't have done any more than they did. And I think he was just content with that result. But I'd also like to look at Calabar. You spoke about them being a track dominant school. Yes. I talked to one of the fans who was saying that this team in particular is a team we've seen for a while. They've taken time to mold themselves into some sort of, what do you call it? holistic nature, right?
Yeah.
And when I spoke to Coach Jeremy Miller, he was just ecstatic.
Yeah,
all smiles, running into the stands. I think it just means a lot for the Calabar school. As Coach Andrew Price previously had his team for 3 years, Coach Miller taking up the program. I think he's done a very good job. Yeah, and you can see the fight in the Calabar boys' face. They didn't stop playing the ball until the whistle blew.
Remember, I had said in a previous show that Calabar would have been one of the top 4 best attacking team.
Yes, you did. Yes.
And they were in the group with Woolmer's boys. Yeah. And I'm not surprised because I would have said that they would have been one of the dark horses to win, that can win the Money Cup.
Yeah.
And for Coach Jeremy, I'm very proud of him because these are students or players that he would have grown from under 14 come up, so they know him.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to him off camera, well, some time ago, and he said that the discipline in the team, there were moments that even Rankin, who was basically the best player yesterday, was out of the team.
He did talk about the discipline. He said that for a while it was a bit shaky, but he thinks the boys are now understanding his philosophy, and he's proud of them for that. But Daniel, it's time for our first break. So when we return, we'll continue to dissect KC's departure and preview the Manning Cup quarterfinals.
So tasty. What I got with a caramel center. What I got, and so much chocolate. Ooh, yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. With so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel. Ooh, yeah. What I got, oh. What I got, you know we love you. What I got, oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What I got.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside, and we'll continue to discuss Kingston College's elimination from the Manning Cup, and we'll also be previewing the groups and the fixtures for the quarterfinals. And joining us for that discussion is Phil Riley, CVM TV's producer for live schoolboy football matches all season long. Phil, welcome, sir. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Normally you're behind the camera in the control room this morning, or this evening rather. You're front and center for the viewers to see.
Yeah, I don't know whose idea this was.
All right, Phil. So first thing we'll get to, KC, the defending champions. How surprised were you for their exit from the Manning Cup?
I think the surprise started when they lost to Idle. That's where it started, because that was a huge result. Nobody expected that. Idle came in as the team that finished 4th in their group and got the last place in the round of 16. So, I mean, they would be the last seed, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And to beat
KC, the one love.
Exactly.
First,
so that was a shocking result. And then from there, it would be uphill for KC, because that would put Idle in that position. And then they got a good result against Calabar. 1-1 draw, that set it up completely. So everything came down to that Calabar KC game, and it's who wins goes through. So it's tough for KC. It's tough for them.
Would they attribute that to the lack of quality that Kingston College would have had this year, being that they would have lost 7 players last year, which Coach had mentioned?
I think the biggest loss for them, I mean, you can only play who you have, right?
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So at the start of the season when they played Charlie and they gave them 3-0, they had a decent backline. They had Jay Sean Edwards, they had Rajay Zimeniz. Those guys are not in the squad now. Maybe you need to ask where they are, but they're not in the squad. But I think that's where they because they have to chop and change, their back line. Jason Edwards actually came in last year when KC, even though they had Kivis Paul, the other player was just not up to scratch, and Jason Edwards came in and he really, as a young player, stamped his class and helped KC to win that title last year. I would put him as one of those guys who really played well as a young player. And now he's in the under-20 setup. And for him not to be there and to see the errors that they had yesterday, to see the errors that they had, they needed him.
Right.
And they needed Zimenez as well. But where are they?
Right.
Good question.
Phil, the standards at North Street are immensely high. And for KC dropout before even the quarterfinals, I'm sure the alarm bells are ringing down at KC. What do you think this means for the future of Coach Vassell Reynolds?
For Vassell to come in and this is what this third year.
Yeah.
He won in the second year.
Yes.
I wouldn't put him under any pressure because he has done well. He did well with a KC team last year that a lot of the KC faithful never expected to do anything at all.
Yes, he won the Manning Cup.
Yeah, he won the Manning Cup with an unfavored team, basically.
Right.
So for him to do that and then you have to be saying, hey, we need to get rid of him right now, I don't think so. I think you need to look at the pieces that you didn't have, the pieces that you missed, because again, if you had those two players, I believe that they would be in a much better position than they are now.
Yes, but hold on, Captain Mona. I get to this now, Captain Mona. I'm surprised you're not decked out in your red and white. But anyway, to the dismay of Captain Mona here to my right, Phil, they also dropped out of the Manning Cup, and they are recent champions as well. Again, another rebuilding team is not necessarily the Mona that we're used to, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
But again, them drop out, and I'm sure they would have also have high standards coming into the season. What do you make of Mona's situation?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, why it's tough for them is that they were among the two teams that won all their games in the first round.
Precisely.
10 wins. Yeah. Calabar was in their group. Wolmer's was in their group.
Very tough.
They beat Calabar twice. They were on top of the world. They felt like, hey, we could win again. And I heard talkings like that, hey, we're gonna win. But to lose your second game, they beat St. Jago 4-1
in the first
game, and then to lose a tough Eltham game.
Let me ask you this though. I'm going to hand it over to you, Daniel, after this. Phil, and both of you, I'm going to pose a question to the panel, gentlemen. As we rightfully mentioned, Mona were dominating, right, up until the catastrophe that hit Jamaica. How much do you think the pause in the season affected Mona's momentum?
It's not just Mona. I mean, if you look at the results, there were some crazy results after the pandemic that you wouldn't have expected. Yeah, I mean, Charlie Smith. I mean, nobody expected them to be doing so well at this point, but credits to Eugene Williams and the staff there. They came in, won their first game, won the second game. And drew the third. They won the group. Nobody would have, if at the start of the round of 16, nobody would say that Charlie Smith and Vauxhall would be first and second in that group.
Right.
Not even the coaches in the group. But Mona. Mona, it's tough for them and it's tough for St. Catherine as well, because to be on such a high coming into the round and then you're out, it's tough.
I'm going to speak about Mona for me personally. I think in comparison to last year, they are too reliant on probably one person or two persons, Savvy K. Martin and Sean Layton. In comparison to last year where they had Kishane Gordon, Sean, and so a wholesome team. The dynamic has changed, and when they don't perform, the team doesn't perform, literally. And Jamaica College would have had a tactic of, hey, when Sean gets this ball, there are like 2 to 3 persons that he's holding
close to him every time.
So basically, he doesn't have the space or the time to turn to try to create something. But yes, they would have come back late and drew the game, but it wasn't enough. And I think that the depth in quality, Mona didn't have it because they're also rebuilding as well. So it's surprising but not surprising. So I guess it's better luck for next season.
Yeah, and they're defending World Cup champions.
Yeah.
So that's also correct, because they will still, both KC and St. Catherine, Mona, all the teams that dropped out, they will still have a chance to salvage some form. Excuse me, not Eltham. They have some chance to salvage.
Almost.
But tell that to the teams that have dropped out of the Manning Cup right now. Tell all the players right now that they have a chance to win a tie. They're not feeling like that.
Because
you know, they only wake up after the first round of games in the World Cup and they say, well, yeah, let's try. Let's go for something.
Yeah.
But really and truly, it's very tough. Every coach can tell you each year after dropping out of since they changed the format in 2018, it's been tough for the players to really get themselves back up to play after, you know, dropping out of the Manning Cup, because nobody now starts at the season to say, hey, what, I want to go and win the Walker Cup.
Right. So we're going to take a look at the matchups, the groups for the quarterfinals of the Manning Cup right now. All right.
That's Walker Cup.
So, all right. So in Zone A, we have Excelsior, Charlie Smith, Heidel, and Jamaica College. Tough zone, right, Phil? Very tough zone.
Very tough.
All right, next up, in Zone B, we have Calabar, Eltham, Stats, and Vauxhall. Daniel, who we have coming out of Zone B?
Zone B, I'm going to go with Calabar and Vauxhall.
Calabar, not Stats?
No.
All right, Phil?
I would say this, the two groups are very balanced. These teams have earned the right to be here. And I think it's on the day. I'm not even going to pick anybody, because really and truly, and Vauxhall and Stats know each other.
You're right.
They played each other in the first round.
Twice.
You know,
no, sorry. That
twice.
Was,
they did.
Twice,
they did play twice. You know, so it's all to play for. I think it's a balanced quarterfinal. I think on the day, it's who's ready to play.
And I think, as Coach Butler was saying in team talk, that first game against Calabar is going to really set the momentum of this group. So whoever comes up with the 3 points in that game.
If we have the first set of games, we could, because I know JC and Excelsior play each other the first game as well. That's a big match.
Right.
You know, the Stats and Eltham is also a big match. Don't sleep on Eltham.
Right.
Yes.
You know, that team has been together for years.
Quarterfinals last year, or they made it to the quarterfinals.
Technically, it's their first year in the quarterfinals because they've been to the semifinals before, but the format was a little different at that time. That was back in 2005.
Yeah, that was in your time.
You're trying to date me right now. So it's been a while since they've been in the to the deeper round, but they've had this squad for years now, coming up through under 14 and under 16. So and their talisman Santana Edley is you're scoring some really good goals.
You have been on the fence, so to speak, for Zone B.
Yes.
I'm going to see if you still have a step on the fence for Zone A. Who do you have progressing from Zone A?
I said all 8, so I mean, the favorites. If you look at names, it's you say Excelsior and JC. You know, if you look at names and recent results over the past few years, you would say that. But I mean, Charlie Smith and Idle have earned their right to be here, and it's on the day. That first game, Excelsior, JC, Charlie, Idle, that will set the tone. You know, we would have said the same thing about KC Idle, right?
Yes.
And Idle won, and everything just mash up.
Right. Well, all right, Phil, thank you so much for passing through. I hope to have you back. in the semis and in the finals again, but we know he's a busy man, so we'll see how that goes.
But at that point in time, Ronaldo, he has to come out and tell us, hey, we're going to win.
No, man, I think Phil going to say, on the day.
On the day.
Whichever the two team there. Yeah, man. But anyway, we're going to take another break right here on High School Pitchside. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
This is Jamaica's season for giving thanks for what matters. It's the time to show up, be there for each other, and to feed our hope for a brighter tomorrow. Celebrate being together with a KFC festive feast. Get the new festive 9 bucket. Proceeds from each festive feast purchase go towards hurricane relief. KFC is finger licking good.
The Chris and Charles Merry Money Mania loan promotion. This Christmas, borrow big and win bigger. Get $1.5 million or $2 million in loans at special reduced rates, plus a chance to win your share of $1 million. And new customers get double entries. The promotion runs from October 15 and is now extended to January 30, 2026. Visit any Chris and Charles branch or chrisandcharles.com for details. Chris and Charles, making life merry again. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside, ladies and gentlemen. The quarterfinals for the DaCosta Cup are now set following the final set of matches in the round of 16 on Tuesday. And people, a new champion will be crowned. And this follows Garvey Maceo's failure to defend their title by missing out on the quarterfinal spot in a loss to Glenmuir. Zane, let's now take a look at the two groups for the last 8. In Group 1, we will see a few familiar faces in the likes of Cornwall College and Kempshill, who faced each other in the second round, and therefore they will meet again. The title favourites, Glenmuir, who knocked out and dethroned the champions, Garvey Maceo, they will face first round rivals Kempshill once again, while McGrath will complete the group. All right? Cool. In Group 2, it will be a showdown among 3 former champions, the likes of Clarendon College, Stets, and Dintil Technical, who have 18 titles among them. They will be competing with Christiana High, who chased their first DaCosta Cup title. Not seeing the Carteret College anywhere. Anyway, reaching the quarterfinals for the second time in 3 seasons, and no doubt a surprise team to miss out on a spot in the last 8 are 2024 champions Garvey Maceo High. They needed a point against Glenmuir to reach the next round. However, the quote-unquote Cubans fell short in their final game in Zone 3 of the round of 16. Glenmuir's 5-2 win and Clarendon College beating Magotty 5-0 saw Garvey Maceo crashing out on goal difference. You can imagine, so heartbreaking. Anyway, after finishing level on 4 points with Clarendon College, here are the goals from Tuesday's game on CVM TV.
Very, very impressive Glenmuir performance. It started off inside 3 minutes, long through from Kamari Ray, flicked on and into the path of the danger man, Dustin Cohen. Dustin Cohen, turn provider, lovely ball into the box, and the glancing header from Aurel Miller to this man once more. Aurel Miller cuts it onto his left foot and just slides it in at that near post. O'Brien stepped up and dispatched, and then this pretty much sealed it. An absolute thunderbolt from O'Neill Headley. Came and got something on it, but the power of the strike and something. But in the end, Glenmuir would come forward once more, skip away from the challenge that time, hook the ball towards the back post. It was turned in eventually.
Mighty 5-2, ladies and gentlemen. We're now joined by our Schoolboy football commentator, Lyle Anthony Golding, the man you heard in the highlights just now. Lyle, welcome to the show, my boss.
Thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah, what took you so long?
Boy, I don't know, you know. You have to ask the others.
Oh, so it was your fault?
No, man, not me at all.
I'm a producer fault?
Yeah, right. you know I go.
Right, I'm going to have a word with him afterwards. So, first thing first, Lyle, I watched, when I was watching this match rather on Tuesday, and you and Lige were calling the match, big up Lige. When that first goal went in, Lige was touting up the youngster name. Remind me of the youngster again.
Cohen.
Cohen, right. And I thought it was so poetic that Lige was literally on a soliloquy, touting up Cohen. And for Cohen to then put opened the scoring, I thought that was so poetic. As a football fan, you know, that I was just fixated on that. But when Cohen opened the scoring for you, did you anticipate the floodgates opening like that? Did you anticipate a 5-2 final score?
I mean, definitely not. I think that it was an incredibly surprising result in terms of the way that it turned out. 5 goals against the defending champions wasn't a mean feat at all. And Glenmuir were, I think, showing their superiority. They're a fantastic team this season. And that first half from Glenmuir was something special. Cohen was fantastic. Oriel Miller as well was brilliant. We didn't even need to talk about Orrin Watson, their top scorer, one of the best strikers in the Costa Cup this season, one of the best strikers in the country. And I think Glenmuir really and truly just stamped their class because I believe that they're the best team in the country.
And this was the second high-scoring game for Glenmuir against them, because if we remember, there was a 4-0 thrashing earlier in the season.
Yeah, there definitely was, and it was the third time that these two had come for a clash. And the game where I think it was Glenmuir went up 2-0, and then Gary Maceo came back, beat them 3-2. So during this game, I had a feeling that maybe we would have seen another Gary Maceo comeback, but I mean, Glenmuir, like I said, this season they're on some different timing, and I'm excited to see them going through into the quarterfinals.
Right. My brother, Gio, last week you were donning your Glenmuir top. I'm sure you were at home or wherever you were. I know he's a man who fly often. I wave your Glenmuir flag, your Glenmuir shirt all over the place. Yeah. But I would say Glenmuir is a team with good pedigree. So would you even describe this as a statement win? Because yes, them a big team, but they also defeated the defending champions. So would you describe this as a statement win for Glenmuir?
Yeah, as I've said about Glenmuir previously, I think they are the favourites to win the Costa Cup. But I think there have been moments in time this season where I expect them to really vanquish teams or put teams away. And they probably didn't put teams away. Those teams came back. You mentioned Gary Maceo earlier in the season. Manchester High School, the game that we called, again, another game that they would have gone up and not put them away. So to come here today and put away Gary Maceo by 5 goals to 2 defending champions, I thought they needed that type of result just to reassure the masses that, listen, we are here and we are the top dogs and we are the favourites.
And something else that stood out to me in the post-match, in the post-match interviews, Coach Lester Hibbert, Gary Maceo's head coach, he said that, listen, it was just a few lapses in defense. In his opinion, Glenmuir would never play in a big ball against them. It was just a few mistakes which they capitalized on. But he does not feel defeated, so to speak. He felt like it was just one of those days.
To be fair, and I was mentioning to Lyle, and probably Lyle don't agree, but I do think 1 and 2 of the goals that Glenmuir scored, probably the Gary Maceo goalkeeper could have done a bit better on, definitely. But regardless, the scoreline does not lie. And in order to score those goals, they have to get the opportunities, they have to get the chances, they have to penetrate that defense. And they'd have done all that, and they have gotten the result that I think they deserve. I think on the whole, watching that game, Glenmuir were the better team. Was there a lot in it? I don't think there's a wide margin. Gary Maceo are defending champions. But Glenmuir deserve the win. Yeah,
definitely.
We're going to take a look at the groups now, gentlemen, because the groups for the quarterfinals are certainly going to be tough. All right, so in Group 1, we have Cornwall College, Kempsey, Glenmuir, and McGrath. So, well, I'll take the first nod. My predictions coming out of Group 1 will definitely be Glenmuir and I'm going to say CC. So Glenmuir and CC coming out of Group 1 for me. Gio?
These groups are tough. I think Glenmuir, and I can't look past McGrath. McGrath went to the finals last year.
So I mean, they were embarrassed in the finals. But
were they embarrassed? It was a close. I recall it being a last-minute winner. I think they got a penalty in the last minute and the McGrath didn't score. But it wasn't a wide margin. I think it was a 1-goal margin that they lost to Gary Maceo. But for me, I think it has to be Glenmuir and McGrath. But it's a very close group. Kempsey played Glenmuir close earlier in the season. Yeah.
Yes, so that match actually went to penalties in the last year's the Costa Cup final.
Yeah.
Group 1 again, Lyle. Kempsey, surprise appearance for them in the quarterfinals. Do you see them coming out of Group 1?
I mean, as an old boy of the greatest institution in the West, Cornwall College, it's difficult for me to bet against my team. They haven't been the most convincing this year, but I think for me,
bet with their head now, with their heart.
No, man. Yeah, smart man. But Glenmuir, I think, definitely the first team coming out of the group. And if you're going to put me on the spot now, I would say it's probably going to be McGrath, but I'd want it to be Cornwall College. But I think this group is definitely going to be a tough one.
All right. Group 2, where we have Clarendon College, Christiana, Dintil, and Stets. All right, I went first the last time, so we're going to do the reverse this time around. Lyle, who do you have coming out of Group 2?
You're not slick at all, and you just don't want to put yourself on the spot. But for me, I think that the two best teams in the D Cup this season have been Glenmuir and Stets. Since the first round, where they started a bit shaky, they had a fair few draws in the first round. But coming on into the second round and indeed the round of 16, 6 wins from 6, they have been in flying form. So for me, I think Stets will top this group. In terms of the second team, Dintil and Clarendon, it's a tough call. They've played each other this season. It was a 0-0 draw. If you're putting me on the spot, I think I'd probably go with Dintil. They've probably just moved me a little bit more this season. So I'd probably say, for me, it is Stets and Dintil.
Yeah, actually, I agree with that. Stets and Dintil. I think Dintil has grown into the season. I think watching Dintil play now, they're getting into the final third. I think the only issue with them is that probably when they get into the final third, they lack some composure. They kind of overthink it. They're creating more chances now. They just need to put those chances away. So I would definitely think it is Stets and Dintil. Stets used to start the season very slowly. We bashed Stets early in the season. Well, I bashed Stets early in the season, and Stets has improved. You know, so big up to them. Kudos to them. In that group, I want to big up Christiana though. Christiana High School, a team from Manchester. We have big up for Manchester School, them. You know.
Why not big up the Carteret College?
The Carteret is not
anyway,
there, you know.
We have a break.
Oh
save it. We don't want to hear.
What are your predictions?
We're gonna make it 3 for 3. Stets and Dintil. You know. Yeah. Very original, right? We're gonna take a quick break right here on High School Pitchside, and we will come back with more Da Costa Cup talk. We'll be right back.
Start your journey with a Jane Bank Small Business Loan with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million.
The time is 8:30.
Keeping it locked right here to High School Pitchside, and we're continuing with our Da Costa Cup discussion. And the quarterfinals kick off this Saturday right here on CVM television, with all matches slated for 3 p.m. In Group 1, Cornwall College and McGrath face off, with Glenmuir hosting Kempshill in the Clarendon Derby. Over in Group 2, Dintil will tackle Christiana, and in what I consider to be the game of the weekend, St. Elizabeth Technical host Clarendon College in what is expected to be a hot match. All right, so some interesting facts for you guys. Stets and Clarendon College have met only twice in the Da Costa Cup in the last decade. Clarendon College won both games with a 1-0 score in the round of 16 in 2023 and a 3-0 victory in the 2014 final. But Stets have managed to beat Clarendon College in the Ben Francis Cup 2 times in the last few seasons. Lyle, thank you for sticking around. He's a busy man. First of all, the big match, Stets versus CC. What are your predictions going to that match?
I mean, I'm no prediction guru like Leger Williams himself, but so him claim. But it's definitely going to be a very hotly contested match. Stets, as I said, for me, are one of the 2 best teams in the Da Costa Cup, and I think they're going to make it to the Da Costa Cup final this year. So by proxy, that would mean I have them beating Clarendon College in this fixture, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game to call at all.
Right. And Gio, as we've been alluding to in weeks prior, Clarendon College are going through a rebuild. So regardless of them making the quarterfinals, do you think it's a victory nonetheless, whether or not they progress?
I mean, when you make it to the quarterfinals, their name is Clarendon College. You're automatically going to start looking, okay, we're this far. How far can we get? Clarendon College has had a very mean defense this season, so they haven't scored a lot of goals, but they've managed to keep out the opponent a lot of the times. Can they beat Stets? It's a tough one to call, but regardless, I think it's success. This season for them is success. Yeah.
Lyle, CC only scored 33 39 goals this season. Are you concerned about the low output in front of goal?
Definitely. I think, as Gio said, it's been sort of a transition season for them, and it's been their defense that they've been riding on, and the lack of goals is definitely a struggle that they have to deal with. But I mean, when you have a good defense, as we say, wins titles. But their lack of goals, I think, when they come up against a team like Stets, is going to be their undoing.
Right.
But we've seen them keep out Dintil.
Yeah, we did. We did see them keep out Dintil, but I think Stets are a different animal. And I think the fact that, like I said, round 1 they struggled a bit, but coming into the round of 32, 3 wins from 3, coming into the round of 16, playing against a team like Ocho Rios, who in the first round.
But they only have 1 defeat so far this season, so you don't think that count for something?
Yeah, it definitely does, but I just think that when you look at the teams stacked up against each other and I look at Stets results in comparison to Clarendon College results, it's really and truly the games that Stets have played and the wins that they have are what's moving me a lot. And like I said, the Ocho Rios win over Ocho Rios, a very good team, handled them 3-0, boxed them up. And I think that was really the game for me that was, I sat up and I said, all right, Stets, I'm looking at you, I'm seeing you. So for this game, I think Clarendon College defense has to be up to their top game, but like I said, it will be a tough one, but I have Stets.
Just to add one more thing that I want to add, right? Over the years that we've seen Clarendon College and Dintil play each other, Clarendon College has always gotten the better of Dintil. Now, this season's a bit different because Lenny the teacher had was at Clarendon College, it's not at Dintil. But I don't know how that historical context plays into who gets that second spot, because we both agree that Stets will get the first spot. But how will that rivalry, that head-to-head between Dintil and Clarendon play out? History would suggest Clarendon College goes through.
Definitely.
The management, you know, so. Indeed,
and when, I think post-game when we spoke to Lenny, he was saying that the occasion kind of got to his boys a bit, they were a bit excited, and maybe it took away from his game plan a little bit. So there is going to be more than just the action on the pitch playing into things, because Lenny returning to Clarendon College is a big story, and like it or not, it's going to impact the players on both sides. So first, when they played, it was 0-0, we didn't have a winner. I think this time, it's going to be another very close game. Both teams have settled a bit more since then. Exactly, so exactly. I think goals will be in the game. Not a lot of goals, but there will be some goals.
Mr. Manchester, let me ask you this now. How confident are you that Christiana could disrupt this group?
I mean, Christiana is a team that I'm very proud of, because I'm from Christiana.
Oh, okay.
You know, yes,
I wouldn't guess that.
I know you wouldn't.
And this is their second quarterfinal appearance in 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Did you know that?
I think year before last year. Year before last year, they went to the quarterfinal, I think, and they're there again this year. So there've been some consistent progress. I think going to the semis probably is a bit beyond them, but that is a school I can definitely be proud, and there's consistent progress throughout the course of that program that you're seeing there.
Okay. And the Carteret College?
What about Wilmers?
All right, so we're gonna take another quick break right here on High School Pitchside. Not to worry, when we return, it's time for our Powerade Team Talk with Vauxhall High School and head coach Kyle Butler. Stay tuned.
We want a piece for Jamaica. Yo, what are you?
Oh man, none of that. No, brother, no. You
can see you ever play ref? No game,
no play. But a ball game. No, I said, place when you come from, brother, I want to live good, man. I want to live good, brethren. No shake hand, I can play a little ball, brethren.
Really have to shake hand?
Yeah, man, and no badness, brethren. Just live good, man.
Come together and make the violence done.
Team, we need to pass the ball quicker, much quicker. And you need to make sure. I'm the coach. And I'm the assistant coach. No. Your job is to bring the water and keep us hydrated. Matter of fact, where's the water? I've got it, coach.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside on CVM TV. Time for the Powerade Team Talk, where we spotlight the players and coaches rewriting schoolboy football history. Today, we're joined by the exciting Vauxhall High School team making their first ever Manning Cup quarterfinal appearance. In the studio, we have head coach Kyle Butler, team captain Omaria Gentles, and the dynamic winger Kyle Chen. Vauxhall have been one of the surprise packages of the season, and they're here to talk about the belief, preparation, and how far they think this dream can run and go. So, Coach Butler, this is a new, well, for me, it's new to call it Coach Butler. Every time I go to the matches and I'm talking to him like, Coach Butler, Coach Butler, I usually just call it Kyle. But this is new territory for you. You've been in the position of a player. You've been around the likes and the experience of coaches, and now you have the position to be a head coach of a high school in Jamaica. You've reached the quarterfinals. How much does it mean to you?
It means the world to me. One, as I said before, it's a new transition for me. It's the first time that I'm having a group to myself. Learning along the way, but I'm really excited and elated about the progress we've been making, and it couldn't been done without the support of the school staff, without the belief of the players in me, and also the belief of my wife and my family.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because from the beginning of the season, this is kind of something that has been repetitive. You've talked about the support system, but before you came into the Vauxhall camp, the support wouldn't have been there. What made you, or what were the things that you used for them to believe that you could lead charge and just help them to get towards being in the Manning Cup in these stages?
Well, when I walked through the door at Vauxhall, the first thing we had to fix was the self-belief. The body language of a lot of the players was very negative. We had a lot of heads down. That's what we had to fix first, self-esteem. And the boys grew with confidence. They believed in the program. They worked hard every day, and no mistake, no excuses whatsoever. So I'm really proud of the boys, really proud about the commitment and the sacrifice they make to reach here, not just on the pitch, but also in the school, in the classroom. So they're becoming better men, and once I've done that, I've accomplished my goal.
When you talk about off the field, let's talk about on the field, defensive and offensively. If we look at, let's go all the way back to pre-season. If we look at from pre-season till present day, what are you most proud of from the boys?
Great attacks win games, great defense win championships. I'm very proud of the execution of the boys. Every game, if you watch us throughout the season and even pre-season, we play every game different.
Yes.
And it's strictly off of tactical instructions, and the boys are excellent at executing instructions, very humble. And I would say that defensively, we're very strong with our captain here, and we're a threat in transition. So.
Okay, let's take a look at the zone for the quarterfinals. Yeah. Heated zone, right? But as you said before that you aren't afraid of any team. You were just taking it a game at a time. So we have the likes of Calabar High, Eltham, St. Andrew Technical. I would say St. Andrew Technical out of the lot would be used to, getting to that far in the competition. But you have the likes of Eltham High, Calabar High, who are just as hungry as Vauxhall. What do you think about the teams that you're playing, and do you think that you guys have what it takes to get to the next stage of the competition?
First of all, congratulations to the schools like Eltham, Calabar, even Stats. They have a young team.
Yeah.
However, I believe in our program. I believe in our boys, and we have to dream big and take every game like it's a World Cup final, and that's how we've been approaching this season. Every game one step at a time. We don't think too far. We think about this task right here and just getting it done and we go about our business very quietly and not even on social media right now.
I realize.
And the boys asked me to just keep quiet. I did this interview out of respect for CVM and yourself and Daniel, and I don't want to put any pressure on the boys. They know what we have to do. They know that we have the community, their families, their careers rely on, them progressing. So.
All right. Well, I've talked a lot to the coach. I haven't forgot you guys. So, Captain of Marion Gentles, this is a big step for the Vauxhall Manning Cup team in general, right? You're at school, you're around the boys. Of course, you guys are probably the coolest kids in school right now, right? What does it mean for you and just the entire Vauxhall community just to get into the quarterfinal stage of the competition? Because on a regular match day, the whole of Vauxhall is at the stadium. So I can expect even more fans now. So what does it mean to you and the community?
For me, it means everything. It's the first time going to the quarterfinals, and for the school community, it's the best we could offer because they really need happiness right now.
What's the mood in the dressing room? Because I know some boys may get, as they call it, pressure, right? Because now you have to step up to the plate, right? Some people have even a bigger responsibility now because now people are seeing your talent. So what is it? Is it nervous? Is it calm? Or are you guys just very confident?
Well, we're confident, but we're hungry because it don't stop here.
All right. Well, Kyle Chen, you've been one of the Vauxhall sparks going forward. What's clicking for you in the attack this season?
It's, to be honest, it's the hard work that we put on the training ground, the motivation we get from our coach to build that killer mindset that helped me to outplay on the field of play.
Kyle, you have a very quiet demeanor, but it seems as if you're very expressive in your football talent. Can you talk to me about the chemistry in the team? Because when you have talents like yours, you know, everybody else has to keep up, right? So can you talk about the chemistry with the boys in the team?
The fun fact is that we've been together for a while now, so understanding each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have good chemistry. And we know how to coordinate well. And we do good on our rotations as well.
All right. Well, Kyle, your boys seem pretty confident. I know you guys are a little bit shy today, but it's okay, right? You guys are showing a lot of confidence on the field, and as we continue in the competition, no matter where Vauxhall ends, if it's at the end of Manning Cup winning the title, or you guys get into the semi-finals, or it's the quarterfinals, whatever stage, what's the message that you and your boys would like to leave this season?
The message has always been clear. Stay true to your roots. Establish school pride. I'm scared to say pride nowadays. Yeah, establish school pride. We want that people in grade 6 and they get chosen for Vauxhall, they're glad to come.
Can I ask you a question? I may be the first person to ask you this question. How long are you going to be at Vauxhall? Are you going to be there for a while? Because I feel like it's going to be hard for them to let you go now.
I can't say this now. My heart is there. I want to be there as long as possible. The U16 group is a solid group. The U14 group is there. So definitely the vision and the goal is long term. We didn't expect to be, flying this well so quickly. So we still have the long term plan in place, and I'd be a fool not to think long term.
All right, lovely. Well, you do play Calabar High in your next game. They're coming off of a win, and you guys are both in the quarterfinals. So I know for both schools especially, it's going to mean a lot right now. What do you think is the edge that Vauxhall has over a team like Calabar?
Both of us are starting from zero. I feel like Calabar, even though they haven't been here in a long time, this is our first time here. And we are going to show them, not them, but everybody across the island, all the viewers, that we're not just here to participate, but we're here to compete.
All right, lovely. Thank you, Coach Kyle Butler, and thank you, Captain Omarion Gentles and Kyle Chen. I'll see you guys at one of these match days, and I want to see the dynamic kicks and turns from you, Kyle. All right. Thank you for joining us on High School Pitchside. And when we come back, we have, let us close with our Powerade Team Talk. And this is this week's Powerade Hydration Tip of the Week. Hydrate early, not just when you're thirsty. Start drinking water at least 2 hours before training or competition, aiming for about 500 to 600 milliliters in that window.
Protecting Jamaica's borders is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
8:45.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside on CVM TV. This is History Class, where we celebrate outstanding schoolboy football players and their marks on the sport. Today, we're joined by one of Jamaica's rising stars, Rivaldo Mitchell. Rivaldo first made waves representing Wilmer's boys in the Manning Cup between 2018 and 2020 before making his professional debut at just 17 years old. He has since captained Jamaica's U17 team, played in the Caribbean Championship with Portmore United, competed in Mexico at the iconic El Estadio Azteca, and is now continuing his career in Europe. Rivaldo, a lot on that on that football career so far, and it seems as if you continue adding to those names. Can you tell us about, we're going to go all the way back to your time at Wilmer's. I was talking to you off air saying, I remember you when you used to play in high school. I remember they used to go on with himself, right? Can you talk to me about your time in Manning Cup and what stands out most from that time till now?
I mean, honestly, Manning Cup was like, for me, some of my best years of football. I learned a lot playing the whole like schoolboy football, going up against a lot of other talented players.
Yeah.
And for me, most of the things that stand out with me, as you said before, you remember me like beating my chest and all of that. It's just for me like being the confident player that I am, you know, and just showing it on the pitch, and off the pitch I try to remain as humble as possible.
You talk about that humble demeanor. I know that players always have a one coach or a teammate or just something in their what you call it, history that shaped them into the player they are today. So do you have any particular coach or teammate or moment from Wilmer's boys that would have shaped you into the player that you are today?
Yeah, of course. I had like a lot of like great teammates, talented teammates in the likes of Ronaldo Webster, Orlando Russell, Dwayne Allen. But for me, I think one of the coaches that stood out for me throughout my whole career, and even now from Wilmer's, is the coach of like Coach Sammy. Yeah, Coach Sammy. And
famous Coach Sammy.
Yeah, and the guy by the name of Ron Rainford as well, Puny. So I hold those like two coaches dearly, especially Coach Sammy, because he actually taught me a lot. He made me the player that I am today. Everything that I'm doing on the pitch, he corrected from my body posture, because you could see my legs, you know? So he corrected all of those stuff and helped me to continue to play and grow as a player.
All right, so speak to me about the transition. Being at 17 years old, Portmore United came knocking and say that, hey, Rivaldo Mitchell, we recognize your talent, but we want you to come over here. So, because I'm sure that at 17, you would have the likes of Harborview, Harnett Gardens, Waterhouse would have wanted your talent, but Portmore was a choice. Talk to me about that choice.
I mean, Cavalier, because he just mentioned three Cavalier players.
Yes.
Yeah, but actually, I actually started at Cavalier. So Cavalier is actually my youth club, my first youth club. At 17, when I made like the transition to playing for Portmore United, I think it wasn't like an hard choice, because I had like family members backing me and looking at the best decisions and the best project for me at the time. I think it was Portmore for me. I'm actually from Waterhouse. I'm from Jerusalem, but as I said before, for me the best project was Portmore at the time. So that's why I went there to play.
And you're now back in the JPL with the Waterhouse. Is that the reason that you've picked Waterhouse over Portmore United this time around? No. If you remember, before signing a contract in Europe, I actually had the great season. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
So it was Waterhouse that had like a good season, and I came back to and after I signed the contract, I'm actually on loan now back to Jamaica, and I chose Waterhouse again, obviously, because it's my home and it's where I feel a bit comfortable.
Get up a little later for training.
It's actually quite the opposite.
You get up early?
Yeah, because I'm always there like in the gym or on the pitch before we start training. So I guess, so it's quite the opposite. So I'm actually there earlier now and doing other stuff
trying to get before the team arrives.
A lot of persons would don't understand the demarcation of playing locally and making that transition to Europe. For the young players, because you was one a young player, what would be the advice you'd want to pass on to them for them to understand that the divergent views in both countries?
I mean, let me just say this first. A lot of people don't understand how talented Jamaican players are. The transition to go overseas and play is not quite that hard, honestly, but it's a lot like you have to be mentally prepared.
Culture shock.
Yeah. And a lot of players before me would have just said hard work, but I want to emphasize on just working hard, because in Jamaica we see a lot of talented players, but it's always why the reason they don't go far, and it's because of that hard work. So I just want to emphasize on the fact that you have to be working hard, trying to take care of yourself and taking care of your body.
I'm glad you brought that up, because in a time like this where we've just faced the recent passage of Hurricane Melissa, and now you guys you're on loan, you're on a break technically in season, for lack of a better word, and now everything is kind of at a pause. JPL will resume on Sunday. You have a match on Monday, right? How do you maintain fitness, right, as well as discipline and the hard work that you speak about within that break? Because you have to, I don't know if you're affected by it or you have family members affected by it, so you have to deal with that, as well as you have to keep your body going because the game doesn't stop.
I mean, I do have family that was affected by the Hurricane Melissa.
Sorry about that.
I have 2 cousins and I have families there. I mean, for us players, I think for me, Coach Fuzzy at Waterhouse, he tried to keep the team together and kept us training. And I think individually, we have to just know that we have to try to be as normal as possible. So for somebody like me now, I continue to try to do everything the same. So I will be still running, doing a little bit of extras there and there. And also then, after a little while, we came to do an hurricane relief.
Yes, you guys did a relief project, yes.
Yeah, with Waterhouse. So we try to help there and try to give back. But I mean, I think in general, I'm speaking in general now, where we have to try to move forward. Now we understand that the disaster was really terrible and every stuff, but I think we have to try to move forward as best as possible.
Well, Rivaldo, I'm happy that you came to join us today. You've created a lot of history and you continue to write history. So continue to do the good job. And I know your boys are not in the competition anymore. I think they're in the Walker Cup. So, you have to go support them in the Walker Cup. But thank you for joining us today on History Class. And after the break, we have more high school pitchside for you.
Jamaica's season for giving thanks for what matters. It's the time to show up, be there for each other, and to feed our hope for a brighter tomorrow. Celebrate being together with a KFC festive feast. Get the new festive 9 bucket. Proceeds from each festive feast purchase go towards hurricane relief. KFC is thinker lickin' good.
All right, folks. So it's one of my favorite segments in the program. It's time for Fan View, and I'm joined by Gio.